So we're going to go through a couple problems. I'm going to do one, and then you can either do one right after, so it's kind of fresh in your head how to do it, or you can just watch all the problems and then work on the worksheet after. This is just to get points back on your quiz. So the first one is an arithmetic sequence. So remember our formula is AN equals A1 plus N minus 1 times the common difference. So the first thing we're going to do is find the common difference. So this is going up by 4, and I want to check that all the way through because if it doesn't, then it's not an arithmetic sequence. So the common difference is a positive 4. Then I'm going to fill in the formula. So AN equals A1 is my first term. So 20 is the first term. Then N minus 1 and times the common difference is 4. So that is just the general formula for that pattern. And then we're going to find A7. So what that means is I'm going to plug 7 in for N and solve. So if you type this part into the calculator, we get that A7 equals 44. So the seventh term is 44. So going on to number 3, it wants us to find the slopes. Remember, slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have x1 and y1, x2 and y2. So we're going to do 5 minus 8 over 7 minus 4, and that's going to equal negative 3 over a positive 3. So if we simplify that down, that is 1. Now we need to find the slope in the table. So remember, that is y, the change in y over the change in x. So our change in y is we're going up by 2. And then our change in x is we are also going up by 2. So then 2 over 2, that's going to simplify to be 1. So our slope is 1. Similar concept, we're going to use slope formula here, but we have to go backwards. So remember, our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So they're giving us the slope, and then they're giving us x1 and y1, but we have to find the new y for y1. So I'm going to plug in, and I'm going to have x2 and y2. So we have y minus 12, and that's going to be over 7 minus a negative 5, so that's going to equal plus 5. And that's going to equal our slope. So our slope is 3, and I'm going to put that over 1 just so I have 2 sets of fractions. So now if I simplify, I'm going to have y minus 12 over 7 plus 5 is 12 equals 3 over 1. And then we need to cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, I'm going diagonally across the equal sign. So 1 times y minus 12 is just y minus 12. Then I'm putting an equal sign because the point of cross multiplying is to get rid of the fractions. And I'm doing 12 times 3, and that is 36. And so the last step is to add 12. So we get y equals 48. If we flip over onto the back, we are going to apply our arithmetic sequence formula. So it says to how many seats are in the first row. So remember, that is our very first number, our starting point. So there are 32 seats in the first row. Then it says, are the numbers increasing or decreasing? So that's our common difference. That's what's going to come before or after our parentheses. Ours is a positive 6, so it's increasing by 6 in each row. And then it says to find and explain what A9 means in context of the problem. So remember, A9 means I'm going to take my problem and I'm going to plug in 9 for N. And so if we simplify again, just plugging that in the calculator, that gives us 80. So what that means is in row 9, there are 80 seats. Here it says to complete the domain and range values. So remember, x is the same as n and y is the same as a sub n when we're talking about our sequence problems. So for n equaling 12, I'm just going to find a12. So again, I'm just plugging in that 12 for n and simplifying. So when I plug that in the calculator, I get 98. Now, the second part here, this is a little bit harder because they're giving me AN. So instead of AN, I'm going to write 68. And then I'm going to equal that to my formula, and I'm leaving N in the formula because that's what I'm trying to solve for. So I'm going to subtract 32 from each side first. So that's going to leave me with 36 equals 6 times N minus 1. And then I'm going to divide each side by 6. So we get 6 equals N minus 1. And then add 1 over. So we get N equals 7. And then for this last problem here, can the domain of this problem be negative? No, it can't be because we're talking about seats and rows. So our N is our number, our row number, so rows can't be negative. The last problem here, we're just going to count the slope. So rise over run, we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going down. So it's a negative 4 over 5, and it crosses the y-axis up here at 3. So slope-intercept form is going to be y equals negative 4 over 5x, and then a plus 3.